Once upon a time, in a kingdom that sparkled with immense wealth but suffered from kindness, there lived a girl named Ella. Her story didn't start in the ashes. She grew up in a beautiful manor, with a father who adored her and a mother whose memory was a warm, guiding light. But life, as it often does, took a cruel turn. Her father, hoping to give Ella a new mother, he chose Lady Tremaine, who brought along her two daughters, Anastasia and Drizella. When Ella's father passed away unexpectedly, the mask fell. Lady Tremaine didn't want a daughter, she wanted a servant. Slowly, Ella was pushed out of her own life. First, she was moved from her bedroom to the attic. Then, the attic was needed for storage, and she was moved to the drafty corner of the kitchen hearth. Because she slept by the fire to keep from freezing, she woke up every morning, dusted with soot.
She's covered in cinders. I know. Let's call her Cinderella.
The name stuck. Cinderella. For years, her world was a small, grey loop. She woke before the sun to bake the bread. She scrubbed the marble floors until her knees were bruised. She ironed the sisters' endless ruffles until her hands cramped. Lady Tremaine was a master of cruelty. She never raised her voice, she didn't have to. She would walk into a room, run a white-gloved finger over a table, and show Cinderella the speck of dust with a look of pure disappointment.
You really are quite useless, aren't you?
Those words hurt more than a slap. But Cinderella had a secret weapon, her spirit. She talked to the house mice, Gus and Jock, feeding them crumbs and sewing them tiny shirts. She hummed while she swept. She refused to let the coldness of the house freeze her heart. One crisp Tuesday morning, the dull routine was shattered. A royal trumpet blasted at the door. The king had made a decision. A royal masquerade ball would be held. Every eligible maiden in the kingdom was commanded to attend. They ran around like headless chickens, throwing clothes at Cinderella to iron, stitch, and press.
The invitation, it says every eligible maiden. That means I can go too.
Imagine the prince dancing with a dust girl.
Of course, Cinderella. You may go
Cinderella's heart leaped.
on two conditions. First, you must finish all your chores. And second, you must find something suitable to wear.
Cinderella took the challenge. She worked harder than she ever had in her life. She scrubbed, she dusted, she polished the silver until it blinded her. In the stolen moments of the night, she pulled an old trunk from the shadows. Inside lay her mother's dress, a soft, vintage pink gown. It was old-fashioned, but the fabric was good. When she descended the stairs, the sisters gasped. The jealousy flared in their eyes instantly. They didn't see a sister, they saw a threat.
That's my ribbon. I can't give it to her. And those beads. She stole them.
They didn't wait for permission. They pounced. Hands clawed at the pink fabric. They yanked the necklace until the string broke, scattering pearls across the floor like spilled tears. In seconds, the dress was ruined. Cinderella stood shivering in tatters. The heavy oak door slammed shut. Cinderella ran out the back door to the garden. She collapsed onto a stone bench.
It's no use. I have nothing left.
A nothing. You have a very nice pair of elbows. And a decent attitude, mostly.
Cinderella looked up. The garden was glowing.
I'm your fairy godmother. Now, stand up. We're losing moonlight.
She held a wand in her hand. With a wave of the wand and a chant of bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, the magic exploded. A garden pumpkin groaned, expanded, and bleached into a magnificent carriage of solid gold and glass. 2 garden mice were caught in a swirl of sparkles and stretched into 2 noble white stallions. Then,
You can't go to the palace looking like a chimney sweep.
the godmother turned to Cinderella.
This magic is powerful, but it is not permanent. It ends at the last stroke of midnight.
Cinderella promised, and she was off. The palace was a sea of noise. Prince Kit stood by the throne looking utterly bored. Then the herald announced nothing. He simply stopped speaking. Cinderella stood at the top of the grand staircase. She descended slowly, her glass heels clicking softly. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. Kit looked up. His boredom vanished. He didn't see a title or a dress. He saw a girl who looked as out of place. They danced. It wasn't the stiff, formal dancing of the court. They moved fluidly. Spinning out of the ballroom, they entered the royal gardens. Walking by the fountains, they talked. Cinderella didn't tell him she was a maid. Kit didn't act like a prince. Books, the burden of expectations, dreams of seeing the world, they talked about it all. For the first time, Cinderella felt seen. The palace clock tower shook the ground. The sound vibrated in her chest. Without thinking, she ran, sprinting back through the ballroom, leaving the guests confused. The left glass slipper slid off her foot. Turning to grab it, the palace guards rushed towards her. A choice had to be made. The shoe was left behind, and she ran into the night. The next morning, the king was furious that the mystery girl had vanished. But the prince was determined. A proclamation was issued. He would marry the girl whose foot fit the glass slipper. The Grand Duke was sent to every house in the land. Finally, the Duke arrived at the Tremaine Manor. Lady Tremaine knew exactly what was happening. Grabbing Cinderella, she shoved her into the attic, locking the door. Downstairs, the scene was pathetic. Anastasia tried to shove her foot in, screaming in frustration. The shoe refused them both. But upstairs, the mice had not been idle. Gus and Jack had stolen the heavy iron key from Lady Tremaine's pocket, sliding it under the attic door.
Is there no one else in this house?
No one. Only my daughters.
Just as the Duke was preparing to leave, footsteps creaked on the stairs.
You? The maid? You are not allowed!
The proclamation says every maiden. Sit down, child.
Lady Tremaine, realizing her plan was failing, did something wicked. As the footman stepped forward with the slipper, she stuck out her cane and tripped him. The glass slipper flew from his hands. It hit the hard wooden floor and shattered into 1,000 glittering shards.
Broken. The only clue. The king will have my head.
You don't need that one. I have the other.
Lady Tremaine turned the color of old paper. Cinderella sat on the stool, sliding her foot into the slipper. The Duke bowed low. Cinderella looked at her stepfamily. Done with them. Simply turning her back, she walked out the door, leaving the ashes, the cruelty, and the darkness behind her.
I know you. I know you.
Yes. And I know you.
They were married soon after, but not just to rule. Traveling, reading books, treating their people with the kindness Ella had fought so hard to keep. And though she became a queen, she never forgot the girl in the ashes, proving that true magic isn't in a wand, it's in the courage to keep believing